Well, I think she meant as much to me as any mother means to any son who has a good relationship, you know. It's a very, very different thing losing a parent, because, you know, ultimately the reason you exist is no longer on earth, you know. And I can only describe it as like hopping around on one leg. Oh my God, yeah. My mother was very, she was very reserved, very English, and very quiet. But when Wham first went on tour, she used to go absolutely crazy. She used to go crazy. She would stand in the middle of all the young girls that were all doing that. She'd stand there sweating, and, you know. And one night there was I knew the security, they'd put the lights on in one part of the arena because there was something happening. Something going on with security, and as it turned out, I could see it was my mother, and my mother was caught. She was climbing over one of the barricade things, and she got her skirt stuck, right? And the security, I could see them in the corner of the building just trying to help my mother over this metal gate. It was the funniest thing, because she just couldn't control herself. She was like a totally different personality once I was performing. Oh yeah, every day. Absolutely, yeah. In the sense that I think the man that she raised has the courage of his convictions. You know, the man that she raised is now really being himself. So all of her influence is there in this album. You know, it's there in everything I do, really. I said to people before now, I'm like my mother with a beard, you know. But I think the more of my character that you can hear on a record, the more of my mother's influence you can hear. I think her integrity inspired me. She was nothing like, she wasn't a pushy mother. She was very cautious about the possibility of me becoming a musician, you know. She wanted me to do something much safer than that. They wanted me, my parents, my father being first generation immigrant, very typically would have loved it if I'd become a lawyer or a doctor or an accountant, you know. But I told my mother and father when I was about 12 years old that I wasn't interested in higher education, and that I was determined to have a career in music, which was fine by my mum, but my dad was, oh, in that case you're going to be poor forever, you know. Even by like the third single, I think Bad Boys or Club Tropicana, even by then he was still saying I should save all my money because it wasn't going to last very long. There was never a conversation. It was so bloody obvious. Do you know what I mean? It changed the balance of power within the family, and it's very rare that you get the opportunity to be so right so quickly, because I'd only left school about a year before, you know. So I never needed to rub it in his face, you know. He understands. We always laugh about the fact that he used to think I had no chance. No, I think I can be loved, not loved. Obviously it helps being loved, but I don't have to be loved or surrounded by love in order to write. You know, I wrote some of those albums from a very lonely perspective. It's all about this. Is what I've spent my career trying to protect this. To some degree, absolutely, the pressure of not letting people down, the pressure of the idea that they don't think this album is as worth the money as the last one was, you know, that idea is terrifying to me, because I always feel that I want my audience to feel what I've done is a progression, you know. So definitely I have them in mind. Nothing. Not now. There are people walking into record shops asking for their free George Michael album at the moment, I think. Because that's, you know, the honest truth is that's the way the press like to do it. They like to put you in danger the whole time. You know, all I've really said is I'm not going to I'm going to try and communicate directly with my fans. I'm going to try and see if they will donate money in return for my songs. How positive can you get, right? But the way the press will look at it is they'll write that you're retiring. I mean, how can I be retiring? I haven't even been around for 8 years, you know? So the press have written that I'm retiring, but I'm not retiring. I'm going to try and go direct to people with the next record. And also with a site, I can write, record, and stick it on there whenever it's done. I don't have to wait for a period of time. I think mostly I work with children's charities. I think mostly, which is strange considering I don't have my children myself, and I don't intend to. I always see a situation from the point of view of children. You know, a lot of the things that I object to, television-wise, press-wise, whatever, a lot of it is I object horribly to what they are making children think is acceptable behaviour or acceptable way to think about one another. All this cruelty and, you know, humiliation on the television, and strange, you know, just it's strange to think that this generation of young kids don't see anything strange in that. Because I think capitalism is getting a little out of hand. I think it's going too far. Too much power is going into too few hands. Those few hands are becoming more powerful than governments, and society is of no relevance to those people. The effects on society of their successful business, endeavours, is of no consequence to them. Not really. It's interesting that people could even pretend in the year 2004 that music didn't used to have a political influence, to make it look to look at a 40-year-old pop star and say, what are you doing talking about politics, to me is slightly ridiculous. It's like a whole generation of people trying to pretend that the generation before them was as hard-hearted as people are now, and the truth is that we weren't. And youth culture was seen as a major contribution to society. Now it's like, no, that you've got children you're selling to, and you don't talk politics. I think they just know me a little better, because the truth is I am a very opinionated person, probably too opinionated, you know, but that's me. And I am someone who really fights for their beliefs, and that's closer to the truth than the person that they imagined, I suppose. Only in one respect, actually. Only in the respect that I was shocked at how shocked people were that I told the truth. You know, I now realise that in many ways I don't look at life the way most people do. Maybe because of having gone through a lot of hard stuff very young and being successful very young. But I have different ways of dealing with life than most people. And I used to think that was going to be difficult for me, and now I realise it's a positive thing, you know. So that changed me to some degree, realising that I was braver than other people.